Start before you're ready. Hi, my name is Anatoly Schneider. I'm founder of Waterfall, an experimental rock band based in Mexico. I started this project almost 2 years ago to the date. And from the very beginning, one of my main goals was to share my creative process and share the screen I'm working on, share the songs I'm writing, and start creating videos for the social media. So that was 2 years ago. I spent a lot of time planning all of the videos and writing what I'm going to be talking about and writing scripts for them and generating various ideas. I thought a lot about it for many months. I discussed it with my friends, I discussed it with people who work with me on this project. But I've never done anything. I've never recorded any videos. I just kept resisting it. I was not sure that I would be able to do a perfect video. I was not sure that I would have something interesting to say. So it really seemed like it didn't make any sense. Who would want to hear me talk about the songs I'm writing that no one ever heard? Who cares? That was my thought process, and that was the egoic resistance. That was the reason why to this date I still have only a couple long-form videos. It took me a year to start posting short-form content on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and other social media channels. And it was extremely difficult to overcome that resistance. Part of it was my perfectionism, thinking about how to make the best video, how to make it go viral, how to make something really interesting to people who would watch it. But another part of it was fear. That people would judge it, that they would not like it, that someone would leave a mean comment. And all of these thoughts would not allow me to go ahead and move forward with it. It took me a year to overcome that resistance and stop posting short videos. And it was very difficult in the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to create the videos, how to make them interesting. But I knew one thing, that the only way I would be able to learn it, the only way I would be able to get to a point where I know what I'm doing, was only by doing it. No other way. I watched lots of videos on the internet. I bought a couple of courses on social media, on video editing, and started developing all of the skills that are necessary to do something like that. And all for nothing. I still was not posting anything. I still was, I'm not ready. I gotta do it a different way. I have that other ideas that I would like to try. At certain point, I even started recording videos, but I would not share them because they were not up to my imaginary standard. And I would think that, it's not good enough, it's not going to go viral, and blah, 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 all of that. And so I was procrastinating for about a year. It was 8th of April 2023 when we started posting regular content on social media, just short form videos, just, something, playing something on the guitar, practicing, singing a couple songs, just anything. And it took probably about 6 months until the image of myself would stop bothering me. For the longest time, I would look at my own videos and I would be embarrassed because I would not like how my voice sounds, or how I look, or how I talk, or how I move. All of these egoic judgments and resistances. But in the end, who cares? Who can start and be perfect from day one at anything they do? I've been playing guitar for 20 years now. And exactly the same story. For 18 years, I was telling myself, I'm not ready. I don't know the music theory well enough. My technique is not good enough. I cannot sing well enough. I cannot write the lyrics well enough. I don't have the equipment to record, and blah, 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 blah. All of these excuses for almost 2 decades were preventing me from recording anything. I would practice a lot of classical music, and I would just create random improvisations and play scales and do whatever. But I would resist writing original stuff. Why? Because you start doing something and it doesn't sound perfect from the get-go. And at that point, you're like, I'm not good enough. I need more time. I need more practice. And it's just such a lie. Because no matter how good the musician is, no matter how experienced the artist is, not everything they do comes out perfect. Not everything they do comes out easy. And nowadays, I learned that that's part of the process. That's completely normal. Sometimes I come up with riff, I come up with new song idea, and I start singing this. And right away I would start judging. Oh, I got out of tune with a little. Oh, my pitch is not perfect. My timing is not perfect. I cannot play and sing perfectly at the same time. And I would give up. I'm not good enough. I can do it. I've got to practice more, but I can't write original music. And so I would not write anything. And so I would have nothing to show for 18 years of being a musician and practicing regularly for an hour or two every single day, but constantly repeating that toxic message in my own head. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. Not enough equipment. I don't have a band. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't know how to do it. And so I would do nothing until at a certain point I finally found the courage to just do it. And it did not sound good at all. And I was doing some live shows, playing in front of the friends, and sometimes it would be embarrassing because my singing was quite bad, my pronunciation was much worse than it is right now. My playing, my timing was not good enough. But to top it all off, I could not really play something and sing something different. I would not be able to maintain two different melodies and rhythms at the same time. And it took a lot and a lot and a lot of time. Yeah, so it took me a while to accept that imperfections are perfect. It took me a while to accept that I'm not going to write an amazing hit song and be able to produce it, record it, sing it properly, and write amazing lyrics from the get-go. It's just not how it works. At a certain point, I accepted that I had to repeat the same thing, not dozens, not hundreds, but thousands upon thousands of times. Instead of playing it like that, I would have to play it like this. 2 or 3 times slower. Sometimes I would go as low as 20% of the original song tempo. I've been practicing at 25 BPM, and it's a torture because it's extremely difficult to play that way. And yet I just kept going through the resistance, through the frustration, doing it over and over and over again. And at a certain point, music started getting a little bit easier, a little bit more comfortable, playing and singing and composing and writing lyrics and recording and producing and mixing everything. Started getting easier and easier and easier, but what I started discovering is that there is much more to being an artist nowadays. In order to actually make a career out of it, many more skills are necessary than just write a couple nice songs and be able to perform them or record them and share them with the world. Because who will listen to them? Who will find them? How? How many songs every day are going viral? I think there is a couple, I don't know how many, it's 100,000 songs that released each week, something like that. I don't remember the statistics, but that's a lot. And most of them we never hear. Most of them are just small artists that are struggling to break through. And that's when I realized that lots more work necessary than just to be a musician. I had to approach it as a businessman. And I had to approach it from various angles. And that's when I started taking social media seriously. I never used social media in the past. I never used Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. I would use YouTube for education. Long-form content appeals to me much more than short-form content. But in the beginning, long-form content was scary. It was too frustrating to even think about it. How would I be able to talk about something for 10 or 20 minutes? What value would I be able to share? And so all of that kind of negative, self-defeating thinking was present in my mind for quite a while. And when I started doing short-form content, It was just to get myself out of the comfort zone. I didn't want to do it. I was not comfortable being in front of the camera. I was not comfortable sharing it. I was not ready. And yet I had to get it going. I had to start before I was ready. It's been just a little bit over a year that I started posting short videos regularly. It's much easier right now to be in front of the camera. It's much easier to talk to the camera. It's much easier to share it. It's much easier to use social media. It kind of became, part of my job. It became part of my life. But long-form content, I still kept on resisting. I have so many ideas written down and the scripts and everything. I'm looking at it right now and seeing that I wrote it more than a year ago. Some of the things even 2 years ago. All of these ideas, the amazing videos that I would share with people, all of the great wisdom that I accumulated over the years, or my creative process, or advice on guitar technique, or whatever. And all of these ideas were just that, a bunch of ideas that I was never sharing with anyone. I would discuss it with my friends, but I would still resist doing it. Yeah. But we all learn. And so, about a month ago, I decided, well, it's time to start. It's time to get going. So about a month ago, I started recording long-form content regularly. This is my new practice area where I practice live music, and I put the camera over here and I just started talking about the songs as I'm practicing it, as I'm working, whatever. And just creating any kind of content, creating any kind of videos that I would be able to share. And I did create them. I have a folder with maybe 15 of these videos, 20 to 30 minutes, each one of them. But I would not share any of them because they were not good enough. My ego in my mind is telling me, no, they were not good enough, not good enough. And I've been meditating upon this for quite a while, and at a certain point I just had to accept, well, my first videos are not going to be good enough. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm not going to get any better if I'm not sharing it. Creating these videos is not enough. Yes, of course it is important. Of course creating them is really important because it also takes practice. Editing takes practice. Creating a script takes practice. Thinking about what to say, what to share, all of this takes practice. But the most important practice is actually sharing it and getting it out there in the world, because that's when we expose ourselves as artists. Because that's when whatever we're creating, we're sharing it with the world, and we're pretty much putting ourselves naked in front of the whole world. Because, in my opinion, there is nothing as intimate to an artist as the art they're creating. And of course, not everyone will like it. There is not a single song, there is not a single genre of music or piece of art that everyone enjoys, that everyone likes. It's just not how it works. Some people will like it, some people will not. And of course, unfortunately, there are many toxic people in the world. And on the internet, being toxic is much, much easier. Because when we are hiding behind the screen, when we are hiding behind thousands of miles of internet cables between us or satellite, it's much easier to say mean things. It's much easier to write some nasty comment. In the beginning, these comments were certainly bothering me. And sometimes I really just wanted to stop. I wanted to stop posting because I'm maybe getting 200 or 300 views on each short video that I post. So some people watch it, but it's still, if I look at the statistics, it doesn't make any sense. Why am I doing it? Right? Who is watching it? For whom am I creating all of this? And the truth of the matter is that I'm creating all of this for myself. Every artist is creating art for themselves. And any artist who says otherwise, maybe they're not completely honest with themselves. Because it is impossible to create art for someone else to enjoy. The artist who is not enjoying the art they're doing are not going to create any value for other people. And so in the end, yes, I am creating these videos for myself. Why? Because talking about my creative process, talking about my frustration, my psychological issues, the resistance I have, my perfectionism, and whatever other things that preventing me from being a better artist, talking about it and exposing myself to the whole world and sharing this is what's necessary in order to overcome these psychological issues, in order to be comfortable with discomfort, in order to be able to expose yourself in front of people and not being concerned about rejection. Because not everyone will like it, not everyone will appreciate it. But you know what? That's completely fine. Not everyone has to like me, not everyone has to like you. That's completely fine. It's just the way it is. And so, every single day, we get a little bit better, and, we learn. But at the end of the day, we have to move forward. At the end of the day, we really have to start sharing it. As artists, at the end of the day, I had to make this decision to start sharing whatever I have with the whole world. Ready or not. Gotta get going. That's just the way it is. And so, smell of flowers is the rain on the edge of the moon. Gentle touch and warm rays, sun reflecting in the snow. Everything I know will live forever in my mind. So having said all that, you really have to start before you are ready. There's no other way. There's no other road to success. You can spend years upon years waiting for it and waiting until you figure it out and until everything's perfect. And it will never be perfect. So start today. Alright guys, thank you for watching everyone. I just really had to create this video and just post it. Not overthink it, not make it perfect, not spend weeks and weeks and weeks writing a script that I would just read off the screen. No, just improvise and just share what's on my mind. And because if I would not do this video, I would not be able to share all the other ones that I want to create. Getting started is the most difficult first step, but the second step is always easier.